Bardu. Leolio Spipanling.
Dim, Nabiba Langu Arzenura. Elbagzi?
To the room news news. Variuglav, Diamborg Leonu Definiado.
Oh, bueno. Dion Porco? Nana, Winet Lop, Porcona. Eh? Cartorder Abbas. Young, Agruago, Mogokyo Kawa?
Tania. Habla what's here to bury you.
Agruago? Wow! Yung, wagayo mo! Aha! Reparte! Orfia Tok, da, Duhurio. Istea, Kunam Barkiberio, yeah. Ow! Augu Kyan! Teoria!
Let's me down alone. Elif'nes chant püsürüp. Tat! Naşırıt, demu eglantır.
Meow meow! Meow! Yamu, Polonia, Abumi, Yamu?
Mitas, not down. Huna hasaklak. Such work not done. Supana rengarcha, Klionia Ferno.
Ring? Valuria? Meow! Mumia! Not a menu! Amagon? Oh, Yawan? Luce? Luna, Isuru Abik Duan. Mani Paparamu, Umurufura. Wagidu Deuna. Isuru Luna Eggland Lesha. Nap Epiplop. Paria, Udumuna Sachi.
So welcome back to Lunatea's Vale. Now we have Leorina's actual plot uncovered. This is Volk City. Just like in Juliant, we have that initial cutscene, and then we have 2 levels that unlock. Technically I'm doing these in the wrong order, but it doesn't really matter. You need to do both in the end anyway. So this level kind of has a cool gimmick. That gimmick being that you start at the bottom of the city and gradually work up. And the first new enemy should be familiar from Door to Phantomile. These things there that we can hit from above, and only from above. There are a lot of cannons in this world, which kind of makes sense with it being a warring city. That flying guy there is kind of a trap. He won't actually get you enough airtime to get onto the platform unless you grab him at exactly the right time, which I didn't. So it's often better just to expend him and then wait for the regular move, which makes it easier to get onto the platform. There are also a lot of these guys hanging around. because starting at the bottom and having to work our way up, we need an easy way to gain a lot of height very quickly. And those guys pretty much serve the job perfectly. This world's got some nice big, kind of big band music going for it as well. And this is the return of the armoured moves. Just like in Door to Phantom, they need to be hit. They need to be hit once by a regular enemy to remove their armour. And then they can just be grabbed like a regular move. There's a lot of cool stuff, well, kind of cool stuff, kind of ugly stuff happening in the background of this level, so if you can, keep an eye on the background just to see some of the little touches that are sprinkled throughout. Just kind of add a little flavour to the level. There's a lot of bombs falling, a lot of stuff blowing up, to properly get over the idea that this is a kingdom at war. These guys, just like every giant enemy, drop 9 gems. As a general rule with those missile firing enemies, if you run at full pelt straight under them, you'll generally clear all of their missiles. This flying move can trip you up as well. It may look like you just have to bounce over to it, grab it and immediately jump up to get to the platform, but if you're patient it will fly over to you. Next new enemy is these guys. When you use them for a double jump, they'll give you a giant electric charge that'll effectively bust through whatever's in front of you and give you a giant jump. This is actually hugely cool because, let's be honest, we're busting through 2, 3, sometimes 4 blocks at a time. And it's nice absolutely destroying everything on top. This is the big jump that's really going to trip you up if you're going for 100% on the level. Because unless you move to the side, unless you move to the right pretty much as soon as you're clear of the tunnel, you're gonna miss not only the doll piece, but also a lot of gems. A bit more simple platforming and we're heading up again. And now we're out of the sewers and up on the rooftops. And these are pretty much spaced just far enough apart that you can just hold right and hit them all. That doll piece isn't particularly difficult at this point. Because you can at least go back for a second shot at it. As you can see, there's a lot of cannon, a lot of rolling around in cannons. At this point, I spotted another fun thing that we could do with Klonoa's taunts, and that's just kind of flattening out. Kind of flattening out in like a skydiving stance. Going further up. And there is no room for hesitation there. You need to be moving straight across as soon as you leave the pad. There's very little room for error in that entire sequence. More explosions as we head around this area. At this point, you can pretty much relax and just focus on moving towards the end of the level, because all the doll pieces are very early on in this level. There's a lot of level left, even after you've got all six of them. So unless you're not worried about gems, you can just keep moving. Up through the girders again. And the final act of the level. Busting up through here. And subsequently landing on the train. Unfortunately, you can't jump on the smokestack. I was trying to relive some Gravity Rush moments.
Purple. Wow. 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 Dunia na. Kuna lucan. Baria, paradura. Wagu, aum, wagyana.
Why there was a reactor in a train station, I've no idea. But anyway, now we've cleared that one, we can head to the underground one in the factory. And if you're anything like me, factories in platform games just fill you with joy. Because they just generally tend to have so many cool little set pieces. These new enemies are flying enemies. They'll always fly out of our reach. But at the right time, they'll dive bomb and you can grab them. And yep, these guys are back. That one's rather nastily hidden. Until you're on the platform, there's really no way of knowing he's there. So the game kind of relies upon you being safe / paranoid. And taking the enemy with you anyway, whether you need him or not. Here, however, they are telegraphed. And that enemy spawner will always spit out 2, so you can deal with both of them at the same time. It is possible to get across with just the moo that runs into them and one of them, but you're cutting it very fine on time if you do it like that. There's a lot of keys in this level. That one's easy to find, but now from this point on they start to get a little bit more trickily hidden. And the boomies are back. So we can start blowing things up again. And this section here is just for one purpose, and that's to remind you can throw boomies into the background and the foreground. White boomies tend to have a shorter fuse, while the red ones have a much longer fuse. There was a point when I first started throwing these ones around where I thought it had actually glitched and gotten stuck during its countdown phase. And also the game just reminds you can use them more than once. So we throw this guy into the background. And we can use him to get these gems and just toss him up here to get the key. Doing everything in one shot like this will immediately kind of take away, unless you know it's there already, will take away your ability to 100% the level. Because on top of that little red platform that you just saw to the left is a doll piece. And the second time you fire out of that back cannon, which the game kind of relies on you doing at least the first time round. The second time you fire out of that back cannon, the camera will pan out slightly and show you the doll piece on top of the platform. This is something I completely forgot about going through it here. But I'll get a screenshot of it up in the thread. Just so everyone knows I went back for it. More tossing boomies around to get more keys. And this time the key door is actually on this side. This isn't a tough mirror spirit to deal with. Just keep moving and there's pretty much 5 bonus gems along there. And a doll piece hanging over the lava pit. As you might expect, the lava pits at the bottom are instant death. There is no way back up. At the top of the whirlwinds is a blue gem. I don't think it's possible to get it with the mirror spirit. Conveyor belts in this game actually do a lot to impede your forward progress. They're actually something of a major obstacle. You can only just about run fast enough to move forwards across them. You could just take the moo down and bust open one of them, but unless you break all 3 of them, there's 15 gems inside them. So next set piece. You may remember from way back the little kind of minecart-like section from the very first Door to Phantomar level. This is kind of similar to that, except that it doesn't break apart. Just ride it along this pipe, jumping the flames. And along the way there are these little flame gates, which hold various goodies. Obviously the better the goodie, the tighter the gate. And there's a doll piece right at the end. So that door isn't going to open, so we head down.
にゅループダンデアフテムにゅまふみにゃみなみゃむなぐうるぐありゃわんキャイナンあぐわんみゃみゃみゃふみゃあるふみ
These kind of things are absolutely terrifying to me. Just the design of them. Because you see them all the time in a lot of Japanese games. And they just always just get me for some reason. But the mini-boss itself isn't that difficult. Occasionally one of these will stay up to charge one of those little light balls.
わぐ
And when it stays up to charge, you can just toss a moo at it. So with the invisible wall taken down from the platform, can move on to this section, and these platforms are back. Just like last time we saw them, these platforms will gradually fade out and then disappear completely before reappearing a short time later. There are a lot of gems in this section, so it's highly unlikely your first time through the level you're going to actually grab them all, because you're not going to know, for starters, that little wind jet there will blow you up onto another load of them. I'm not entirely sure what the best approach is for that mirror spirit, because as you saw, there are 2 gems I missed there. That's pretty much the first example we have of the cannons kind of putting a little curve on things. It will get a bit more pronounced later in the level. This move can be a bit of a dick, because chances are it's going to jump right up wherever you tossed the boomy. And you need the boomy to get up to that doll piece. And that little frustration starts me playing badly. I don't think I've mentioned this yet, but the doll pieces actually do remain grabbed after you finish the level. So even though we've missed one, the 5 we've got will stay gone when I come back to grab the last one. This is a cool little section, for a reason that won't become obvious until we get into another cannon 2 cannons away. And there's another bit of blatant curving. It's more like Mario flying around in the Galaxy games. And here's the cool little effect. That little cluster of metal is actually the crest of the kingdom. I do like that the camera pans down to show it to us.
分。Lunatea, Klonoa-chan. Paradura. Wagong! Urugyo awamupaw.
We'll head back to the bell next time.